Good morning. It's May the 25th, Monday morning, and our reading from the 1 year is in 2 Samuel 7 and 8, and also John 14, the end of John 14. I love how scripture just goes together so well with the readings in the 1 year. This morning in 2 Samuel, it was talking about King David, and I love the heart of David. He realizes that he's in this place where he has a cedar house. He has a home, a residence, a place where he can rest and reside. But he realizes that God, the greatest king ever, has no home. He has no place to reside, that God walks and moves around, but he has no place to rest. And so it's in David's heart to build God a resting place on earth, to dwell among men in a resting place. And just the very thought that David wanted to reside with the Lord, and he wanted God to reside with him, to abide with him, to be in his presence. Just the very thought of King David in his house, and he wants a house for the Lord, and it's like he wants to be able to see the presence of the Lord all the time. He wants to be in the presence of God all the time, to acknowledge where he's at, and to be able to come to him, to hear his voice, to fellowship with him, to have union with him and community with him. Just this beautiful heart of David. I mean, God loved that heart. That was a heart that was after God. David's heart was after God. And then we jump to John 14, the end of John 14. And again, it's this beautiful picture. We have the disciples abiding with Jesus. They wanted to be in his presence. They wanted to acknowledge his face, to hear his voice, to follow his steps, to go wherever he was and to do whatever he said to do. And that's what abiding is. It's being in the presence and acknowledging the presence of the one who is greater than we are, which is Jesus, which for David it was God. And so Jesus sits the disciples down and he says, guys, I'm going to be leaving. And the world is like that. People are going to come and go. There's going to be people in front of us, and then they're not in front of us anymore. They're going to leave. Many times they're going to forsake us. And Jesus said, you know what? I'm even going to be leaving. I'm here for these years with you, but I am going to be leaving. But I'm not going to leave you comfortless. I'm not going to leave you without my presence with you. I'm literally going to ask my Father, and he's going to give you a gift. And so what I get a picture of is that once we receive Jesus, once we acknowledge Jesus in our life and we are saved by Jesus, Jesus has asked the Father to send us a gift. And so we have this beautiful gift that God has sent us after we receive Jesus. And it's the very gift that Jesus told the disciples they would receive, that gift would be with them always for eternity. From the very end of their life, that this gift would be with them. They would not be left an orphan. They wouldn't be alone. This gift wouldn't come and go, but it would stay with them, reside with them, be in their presence. And not only would this gift actually be in their presence always, in them, around them, but it would also be the very gift that Jesus was given of his Father, the very Spirit of God residing within, residing around, never leaving, never forsaking. That this gift would actually teach us and remind us of everything that Jesus has ever said. We wouldn't have to be looking and trying to figure out how to live life and who to follow and which direction to go. But we would literally have the same exact Spirit of God that Jesus had within him, within us, to lead, guide, teach, comfort, be present with us forever. And so, you know, as I get this picture, we have this beautiful gift after we receive Jesus. And I feel like for a lot of times, many of us have not ever recognized the gift that we've been given after receiving Jesus. That we're walking around trying to figure out where to go. We feel like an orphan. We feel like we have no direction. We don't know which way to turn or who to talk to or what to say. And all along we've got this gift that's just with us everywhere we go. But we've never acknowledged this gift. And so what Jesus was telling them to do, I want you to acknowledge this abiding presence with you. And so for me, it's like we've got to open up this gift that we've been given after we receive Jesus. And we open it up and we acknowledge that it's with us and that it's going to lead and guide us and He's going to tell us where to go. And so when we open up the gift and we acknowledge it and we acknowledge that this is the very Spirit of God and the presence of God that's going to be what we follow, be who we listen to, be who we hear from and share about. And this gift that we open up becomes this abiding presence within. I think after we receive that and we began to walk in that, we began to have this union and fellowship with God and with Jesus that we've not known before, because it's the very Spirit of God that brings unity between us, the Father, and Jesus. And so for those that have never opened the gift that God promised to give us, that Jesus promised to give us, I think we need to open the gift and acknowledge the presence of God that He's given us. And for those of us that have opened this gift and we've received and we've acknowledged and we've walked in the presence of the Spirit of God and we've followed His Spirit and we've obeyed His voice, but we've forgotten. We've forgotten that He is with us always, and we've gone our own path and walked our own way, and we've become kind of stagnant or lost and wondered where to go and what to do. And I think for us, it's again acknowledging the very gift of God, the abiding presence of God, that we can be in His presence all day, every day, that He abides in us, and He abides around us, and we can live in that very knowledge and that very fact that we are a disciple of Jesus through the Spirit of God, following Him, listening to Him, obeying His voice, and enjoying an abundant, fruitful life. Acknowledge His presence. Open His gift. Love you guys. Have a great day.